You could almost say I review soundbars for a living. I've tested probably 60 or 70 of them over the past few years, and there are exactly 3 brands I will never recommend to anyone I actually like. Not because they make bad-sounding products, some of them sound fantastic, but because owning their gear means signing up for a level of frustration, troubleshooting, and corporate incompetence that no amount of good audio is worth. We're talking firmware updates that brick $1,800 flagship products, wireless components that forget how to stay connected, software so disastrous it cost a CEO his job and tanked a company's stock by $500 million. This isn't about specs or features, this is about trust. And these 3 brands have burned through whatever trust they had. Subscribe if you want gear recommendations from someone who actually uses this stuff. Better options linked below. Number 3. Vizio, the subwoofer that never stays connected. These things look incredible on paper. Wireless subwoofers, Dolby Atmos support, complete 5.1 surround systems, all at prices that make Sony and Samsung look like they're committing highway robbery. The M Series Elevate gets solid reviews. The value proposition seems unbeatable. So why do home theater forums have thousands of posts from frustrated Vizio owners? Because the wireless subwoofer disconnect issue has plagued Vizio soundbars for years across multiple product generations. Owners report subs randomly cutting out mid-movie, having to repair the thing constantly, or the bass just vanishes after a couple hours and refuses to come back. It's so common that Vizio subwoofer disconnect has basically become its own troubleshoot category online. Tons of guides walk you through factory resets, how to turn off eco mode, mess with your router channels, try firmware updates that honestly might make things worse. Best anyone can tell, the culprit is 2.4 GHz interference. Vizio's wireless setup gets wrecked by Wi-Fi routers, baby monitors, microwaves, basically anything else using that same crowded frequency band. Some people fix it by moving stuff around or switching router channels. Plenty of others say nothing works no matter what they try. Then there's the SmartCast app, notoriously buggy, frequent crashes, failed firmware updates, settings that don't sync properly. When it works, it's fine. When it doesn't, and it often doesn't, you're stuck with whatever limited controls the physical remote provides. The V-Series budget models add build quality concerns to the mix. The plastic feels cheap, the remotes are flimsy. The overall construction doesn't inspire confidence that this thing will survive 3 years of daily use. At the $150 to $250 price point, you're genuinely gambling on whether you'll get a unit that works reliably or one that becomes a constant source of frustration. What lands Vizio on this list isn't just that the problems exist, it's that they come back. You do the factory reset, repair everything, think you've got it sorted, and then 2 weeks later you sit down for movie night and there's no bass. Again. The fixes don't stick. That's the pattern. If you're considering Vizio, don't. At the mid-price point, the Yamaha True-X Bar 40A delivers Dolby Atmos with built-in subwoofers and Yamaha's proven reliability. Both will outlast the frustration cycle of Vizio ownership. Number 2. Sonos. Great hardware, catastrophic software. Destroyed trust. I actually hate putting these guys on the list because they make legitimately excellent soundbars. The Arc and Arc Ultra sound fantastic. True Play room calibration is the best in the business, not even close. The multi-room ecosystem is still unmatched. When everything's working right, it's a premium experience all the way through. The problem is what happened in May 2024. And honestly, what's still happening? Sonos pushed out a completely rebuilt mobile app, hyping it as an unprecedented streaming experience. What people actually got was a dumpster fire that'll probably end up in business school textbooks as a case study in how to destroy customer trust. The app shipped without basic stuff. Sleep timers gone, alarm functionality gone, queue management gone. And it didn't just lack features, it actively broke existing Sonos systems that had worked fine for years. Speakers would just vanish from your network while music was playing. Volume controls stopped responding. People's entire music libraries disappeared. The fallout was ugly and immediate. Support got hammered with complaints. And here's the thing, Engineers inside Sonos had apparently been waving red flags about the app not being ready, but leadership pushed ahead anyway because they needed it to ship alongside new hardware. By January 2025, the whole disaster had vaporized something like $500 million in market cap. CEO Patrick Spence was pushed out. Then the chief product officer who'd overseen the app, gone. Chief commercial officer, gone. Chief marketing officer, also gone. They laid off 100 people in August 2024, then another 200 in February 2025. And here's what should really make you nervous if you're thinking about buying Sonos today. They've confirmed they can't roll back to the old app. The whole underlying system got rebuilt from the ground up. They've spent almost 2 years patching and fixing, but recent reports say internal teams have basically concluded the current app has fundamental architecture problems that no amount of incremental updates can actually solve. Their solution? Tear it all down and rebuild the app again. Third time's the charm, apparently. That's scheduled for 2026. This isn't a company that had one rough patch. This is a company that pushed half-baked software onto customers, ignored their own engineers' warnings, broke systems that people had spent thousands building out, and has now admitted that the fix they've been working on for 2 years isn't actually fixable. They're starting over again. If you're considering Sonos, understand what you're buying into. The hardware is excellent. The current app is functional, but still not what it was before. The company has demonstrated it will prioritize launch schedules over customer experience. And they're about to ask you to trust them with yet another complete software rebuild. For high-level Atmos performance with detachable wireless surrounds, the JBL Bar 1000 includes everything in the box. Number 1. Samsung. Flagship features, flagship firmware disasters. This team makes some of the best-sounding soundbars on the market. Full stop. The Q-series lineup consistently tops performance charts. Professional reviewers call models like the Q990F one of the best soundbars they've ever tested. The hardware engineering is genuinely impressive. Dolby Atmos support, wireless surrounds, subwoofers that deliver actual bass presence. The problem isn't what Samsung builds, it's what they do to it after you buy it. In March 2025, Samsung released firmware update version 1020.7 for their flagship soundbars. That update bricked units globally. Owners across the US, Canada, Austria, Philippines, Malaysia, basically everywhere, woke up to find their $1,800 HW Q990D soundbars completely dead after the update. The things would power on but just freeze on the eARC input screen. Couldn't control them at all. Remote? Nothing. SmartThings app? Couldn't connect. Factory reset? Didn't work. These flagship soundbars are now very expensive shelf decorations. Samsung's community forums blew up. One support thread hit 31,000 views in a single day. Reddit's soundbar subs were flooded with the same complaints over and over. Tech sites picked it up everywhere. Samsung eventually admitted there was a problem, but here's the kicker that really earns them the top Blacklist spot. You couldn't just roll back the firmware. The fix meant boxing up your soundbar and shipping it to a service center for hardware repairs. People were without audio for weeks. And look, this wasn't a one-time screw-up. The Q990C from the year before had its own firmware nightmare. Version 1010.5 apparently destroyed sound quality and you couldn't undo it. The Q850T had update problems back in 2021. The Q700C and Q800C have documented eARC dropout issues with hundreds of forum threads about random audio cutting out, especially if you pair them with LG TVs. Samsung's own forum moderators have acknowledged these are known issues. Same story across their whole lineup, honestly. Aggressive auto power off that shuts your soundbar down when you're still using it. Bluetooth that forgets your devices and makes you repair constantly. And firmware updates that create new problems without fixing the old ones. Why does Samsung get the #1 spot? Because when you spend $1,800 on flagship audio gear, you're not expecting a random overnight update, one that pushed itself automatically while you were asleep to turn the thing into a brick that needs to be physically repaired. Samsung's software QA is just demonstrably, repeatedly bad. And there's no sign they're getting better at it. If you're considering Samsung, the hardware sounds excellent, but immediately after setup, disable automatic firmware updates in the SmartThings app settings. Never install an update without researching it first. Let other customers be the beta testers. Or skip the risk entirely. For flagship performance, the Sony Bravia Theater Bar 9 offers expandability without the ecosystem risk. The bottom line: 3 brands, 3 different failure modes. Vizio can't keep a subwoofer connected. Sonos can't ship stable software and is now planning their 3rd major app architecture in 3 years. Samsung can't stop bricking their own flagship products. The common thread? All 3 companies prioritize something: cost savings, launch schedules, feature checklists, over the basic expectation that expensive audio equipment should work reliably for years without requiring constant troubleshooting. If you want a soundbar that actually delivers on the set it and forget it promise, look elsewhere. Sony's HT-A7000 delivers flagship performance with app-independent reliability. Yamaha delivers proven, drama-free operation across their entire price range. Bose provides premium sound quality with mature, stable software. These aren't perfect brands, nothing is, but they haven't earned Blacklist status through repeated catastrophic failures. Your money, your call. But now you know what you're risking with these. Drop a comment if you've been burned by any of these brands, or if you think I missed one that deserves a spot on this list. Hit subscribe for more honest audio guides, and check the description for links to soundbars that actually work. Stay safe and keep it valid.